The banks, you know why they don't want to lend money? Put yourself in the bank's shoes. Faced with the predicament of that they are supposedly getting bailed out with all this money, trying to figure out how to use it wisely so as not to cause a tsunami of debt that its customers, the American taxpayer, and small and large businesses and corporations, they don't want to saddle them with all this debt that the government is going to be expecting from them. If they lend money to all these people of all these walks of life and classes and financial status and various, demographics in all the various geographics, and these people foreclose again. The Obama administration is redistributing the wealth by redistributing the debt. The bank sees this. The bank sees that this is really not the nicest thing to do to people. This is really quite cruel and has the potential of making serfs of millionaires and billionaires, if not slaves of them and everybody else, and turning this country and possibly the world into one giant miserable gulag where nobody will have anything and we will all be looking for somebody to take it from. There's certain men in the banking system who are very aware of economics, and it's not a matter of, Barack Obama's opinion of what's fair. They've been around. They know what happens because they see the history. Somebody who works for Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan, especially Lloyd's of London, centuries-old records where they see what has happened every single day that you and I have been alive and not paying attention. What happened in the economy, and they have all their theories about why. It stands to reason that these men are reluctant to use this money that is being printed and forced down their throat by the executive branch, the Obama naughts, the Obamovics. So all these old salty dog old men bankers also understand the laws, the statutes, the governed mandates from the various regulators in the government, some of whom are knowledgeable men, and some of whom are, shall we say, less knowledgeable. Some who are, shall we say, utopian. And some of whom are possibly subversives at best, and at worst, straight-up communist infiltrators whose aims are to take down this country in an economic war. I know that sounds very conspiratorial, but these men who are in charge, if they see this as so, they would be reluctant to tell the boy king that the emperor has no clothes, because they are worried about being handled in a fascistic manner by the likes of Barney Frank and Al Franken. I mean, if D.C. was a village, these are the village idiots, the inmates running the asylum at this point, at least till 2010. And they know it. That's why they're trying to get all this stuff I'm telling you about done as boldly and swiftly as possible. Bold and swift, immediately, as much as possible, as fast as you can. Now, because they can get it all done. They can get it all shoved up our asses without one Republican vote of opposition. It depends on getting Democrat votes of opposition to these dastardly plans. So if you're a Democrat, please listen to me. I'm not coming at you in a partisan manner, although I'm sure you are going to say that I am. It goes beyond party. It's what do you stand for economically? Are you for this wealth redistribution? Are you for this debt redistribution? If you are, if you push us through this before 2010, you know what's going to happen? We will be enslaved into paying this debt back. Or, more likely, I believe, if Geithner is granted his freaking three-peat of death, Secretary Treasury, plus FDIC czar, plus Security and Exchange Commission czar, if he has this much power, some guy who you never heard about during this campaign, Or you never heard one word about it. I don't care how much you love Obama. He didn't tell you about this Geithner guy he was going to put in place. And now he's there. And he's a bigger tax cheat than everybody who will ever see this video put together. Why am I holding my hands like this? It's not a gang thing, honest, man. So don't come gunning, because I'll be ready for you. Alright, what am I getting at now? I don't know. Oh, yes. Okay, the alternatives. The government will take over the banks. If they write off this debt, now they own it. And you know what? They have stolen it. They have robbed it. They have redistributed the wealth by redistributing the debt. And they have taken both sides of the debt. It looks like their next thing after they pull this through, people are going to start bitching about how they took everything. The government took everything they had, and now they're just a poor nobody like me. And the government will say, no, we saved America, and since we now own the bank and we are the government. Okay, see, this is very confusing. The bank lent the government the money because the government printed it up. They said, we're going to have a bailout of the banks. The bank didn't even, most banks, some banks, if even one bank didn't ask for any of this money and they're getting it anyway, they're being forcibly took over. It's a financial coup d'etat. It's a coup of the banking system. If you're one of these people who wants to eliminate the Federal Reserve and this is how you want to do it, then you're a communist, and that's all there is to that. We're going to be an absolute miserable place to live. We are going to be devouring each other. There's going to be unbelievable crime if this happens, because nobody's going to have anything. It's going to cause hyper-mega inflation. What are the alternatives? We stop printing one more fricking dollar. Timothy Geithner, pull that pen out of his hand. He does not get to sign one more Federal Reserve note for the entire time of office. Barack Obama, in his time in office, in what, 3 months? January, February, March, April. Yeah, just shy of 3 months, not even 100 days. He has already spent more money than every other president before him put together. So, get rid of the mints, close them down. Let's say we don't have a Treasury Secretary for another 44 presidents. We don't print no more money, man. The dollar would become so valuable and sought after. The most valuable money is stable. Whereas for years, you can bank on it. It's stable, very stable. It's physics, man. It's a different laws, different aspects will happen. There'll be a war that will cause it to something to go up or down. Okay, we're talking about alternatives to what we are doing now. If we stop printing the money right now, we will have to pay back what is been printed and distributed thus far. I would recommend that whatever supposedly is still in the TARP fund that has not been spent yet, make sure that does not get spent. Destroy that money in a manner that everybody can witness. They should print a list of serial numbers of all the bills they are destroying. They should have lists of serial numbers, I imagine they do, of all the serial numbers that are out there. A dead giveaway is it's probably signed by Tim Geithner. The TARP fund money will probably, what's remaining, will probably have Henry Paulson's signature on it. The money that has been distributed, the banks have to figure out how much they actually need. They were picturing when you bought your house, like say the house you bought was $150,000 over a 30-year time period, they were probably going to get like $400,000 plus for that house. They were expecting, they were hoping, they were basing all of their borrowing and lending on that hope. Now, if Barack Obama brought that kind of hope back to everybody, that would be great. But this is not going to offer hope. This is going to offer hopelessness. It's definitely going to offer change, though. We're changing now. We have to stop changing.